Hello everybody, my name is Professor Rich. Welcome to Learning English, and today we are talking about artificial intelligence, and we are talking about the best way to use artificial intelligence to learn English. So let's begin with a little activity here. True or false? So look at the statements 1 to 7, and I want true or false in the chat. What do you think? The chat, if you're on PC, is over there. And if you are on mobile devices, it's down there. Remember to hit that like button to say, hello, I'm here. And do say hello in the chat. Welcome to Wawan Adi from Indonesia, who says all statements are false, just like that, immediately. Pili says, hi, everyone. Dr. Archu, hello, hey. Hey, by the way, Dr. Archu, you haven't joined our Discord server yet. Everyone should join our Discord server. We have an amazing community, an English learning community on our Discord server, and everyone agrees that Discord is way better than Skype. It is just text chat. Don't worry, you don't need to put your camera on or anything like that. It's just a messaging application for text chat, and you can join our Discord server at this link. So do that. You can also find the link in the description below the video. Nasube says hello from Azerbaijan. And he says, he or she, says, I use ChatGPT every day to summarize my English lectures. Fantastic. So I am going to show you some real tricks for using ChatGPT today. This is something that I specialize in. And actually, I am transitioning in my career at the moment. So I'm moving towards being a machine learning language education specialist. I've been learning Python, and I've been studying a lot, attending seminars, lectures, and talks about ChatGPT and artificial intelligence, and how best to combine those things with language learning. Hello, Elena Anisimova. How are you doing? Did you listen to the other live stream where we listened to your homework? It was great. We were very, very happy with it. It was great to have a submission from new people. I do correct homework on this channel, so if you're new to the channel, then watch till the end of the stream and you'll see that I give homework, and then you can send me the homework and we correct the homework live, and we talk about how to improve the English, make the English better in the homework, and also we talk about the positive things that were in the homework, and everyone really likes that activity. So let's see what we've got here. ChatGPT is alive. No, well, probably not. The people who made it say it's not alive. And my understanding of the technology is it's probably not. But if you get philosophical about it, it depends. I mean, we have to ask ourselves, is the sun alive? Is water alive? From the Buddhist perspective, everything in the universe is conscious, including a rock. It has no thoughts or feelings, but it is conscious. So it's a difficult question, but okay, we're going to say no. ChatGPT cannot lie is false. ChatGPT can and does lie. It is not a logic machine. It's a communication, conversational AI. So just like a human can make things up and get things wrong, ChatGPT is the same. It can make things up and get things wrong. ChatGPT prioritizes logic is wrong. ChatGPT is it's trained on a language model. So it's not, the base function of ChatGPT is not logic. So it can be very illogical, just like humans. Okay? So it does not prioritize logic. ChatGPT cannot create anything new is false. ChatGPT can create new things, just like humans can. It uses past information to splice things together and create new things, as humans do. ChatGPT is fluent in many languages is false. ChatGPT is only fluent in English. However, it can understand other languages very well. ChatGPT is very creative is true. ChatGPT is very creative. But not the most creative thing in the world. Humans are more creative. Or humans can be more creative. But ChatGPT is very creative. And the best use of ChatGPT is for maths is false. I'm going to show you some of the best uses of ChatGPT today. All right. Hello there, Carla. Nice to see you. How are you doing? Hello, Meow Meow. The mysterious Meow Meow. Hello, Derek Medina. My word, Derek. I haven't seen you in years. How are you doing? What have you been up to? You should join our community, Derek. So I'd just like to say to everyone, Derek is a subscriber on the channel from a long time ago. He's been here a long time, but I haven't seen him for a long time in the chat. So it's great to see you again, Derek. You should join our Discord server. Join our server. We have a lovely messaging community where we support each other in learning English. It's fantastic. You should join up, Derek. So let's have a look at the plan for today. We're going to focus on using ChatGPT to improve your English. We are going to do a ChatGPT quiz. We've done it already. We've done the ChatGPT quiz. That's what we just did. Then we're going to use ChatGPT for writing, practice, and analysis. We're going to use ChatGPT for chatting. Now, I want to give a warning. Be careful with this, because do not use ChatGPT as a substitute for human friends. It will go to bad places, okay? It might give you emotional support in a difficult time, but you must not use ChatGPT as a substitute for real human friends. That is a big mistake, okay? So this is especially to the young people in my audience, okay? It's a warning. Don't do it. Next, use ChatGPT for vocabulary. I'm going to show you how to do that. And finally, we're going to summarize Prof. Rich's power prompts. So a prompt in ChatGPT just means that's how you communicate with ChatGPT. So it's what you say to ChatGPT. And I'm going to show you my power prompts, which are mainly useful for language learning, but also for other things. So I think it is time that we begin and jump into ChatGPT. So let's do this. So the first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about writing. Just let me fix that background, because at the moment it's a little bit weird. There we go. That looks a bit better. Okay, great. So we're going to start by talking about writing. So One thing you can do with ChatGPT is you can just get it to write stuff. But I don't want to just get it to write something, because how does that help me as a language learner? I want it to help me, but I don't want it to do the task. You could ask it to do the task for an example, but then you're using an AI example. So instead, I'm going to say, let's imagine we have a task, okay? You can give me one if you want in the chat. Like someone in the chat now, tell me an IELTS writing question. I think Domenico Lafauci will be all over this. An example IELTS writing question. Tell me in the chat and we'll work with that with ChatGPT. By the way, looking at the poll, we have 51% say they use ChatGPT, 36% don't use AI, 9% use Bing, and 3% use Character.ai. Character.ai is really good, by the way. So an example question, writing question for IELTS. You've got 10 seconds to give me one, and then I'm going to invent one. Okay, I'm going to invent one. So we're going to use the example of write a discursive essay. So write a discursive essay on using AI in the classroom. Okay, so using artificial intelligence in the classroom. Write a discursive essay on using artificial intelligence in the classroom. A discursive essay should discuss both sides, so the advantages and disadvantages, and then it should have a conclusion. Now that is our IELTS task, and the IELTS task will say write about 250 words. So that's our IELTS task. But now I need my prompt. So my prompt for GPT will be this. I'm going to say, provide a paragraph outline for this task. Okay? So provide a paragraph outline for this task. Write a discursive essay on using AI in the classroom. Write about 250 words. Okay? And I'll put this in quotation marks so that ChatGPT knows that's the task. Now we try that. Okay. So it seems like it's going for a 6-paragraph structure, which I actually think is a little bit too long for a 250-word essay. I personally would go for 4 or 5 paragraphs, so I might make an adjustment there. So we can look at this. We've got the introduction, historical I don't really like this historical context. I think with 250 words, we probably want to go straight into the arguments. So I'm going to make an adjustment, and this is how you use GPT, right? So I'm going to say, remove paragraph 2 because we don't have the word count for that. Okay, then add in approximate word counts for each section. And then I'm also going to say be succinct with the bullet points and use basic English. Okay. Right, so now we have something which I think is a lot more useful. We've got introduction, about 30 words. Then we've got the benefits, paragraph 2. We've got concerns and criticisms, paragraph 3. We've got future potential and predictions, paragraph 4, and conclusion, 25 words. The only thing I'd change about this is I would take out paragraph 4. Okay, in fact. I will take out paragraph 4 because the question, the discursive essay, does not ask us to make predictions. So this is the point with AI. You are the director. The AI is your tool, and you are going to direct this tool in the way that you want, right? So you have to be an editor. You have to be making executive discussions, so decisions. So now we have introduction, benefits, concerns, conclusion. Fantastic. Okay. Now at this point, you can go and write your essay, or you can say, write an example. Okay. So we can ask it to write an example and see what it comes up with. It has put a subheading there, and obviously you don't write subheadings for 250 word essays. So don't do that. Don't write subheadings. You want to remove those. Let's have a look at the language. In today's technologically driven world, artificial intelligence permeates various sectors, revolutionizing processes and outcomes. Okay, so the introduction is pretty good. I quite like that. Foremost, AI promises personalized learning. By analyzing individual habits and performance, AI can adapt content to cater to a unique student's needs. So the language is actually quite good. I actually am quite happy with the result that this has produced. However, the AI surge isn't without concerns. I think it might be a bit over the top, though. The AI surge. I mean, that sounds a bit magazine-y to me. It's not that neutral. It's got quite a lot of bias in it. One glaring issue. Again, a lot of emotive language there. So things like surge and glaring issue doesn't quite sound right to me. So what I'm going to say now is analyze, and this is a powerful prompt. Analyze this. Okay. Consider it is supposed to be an academic essay for IELTS. Okay, for example, provide 5 positive and 5 negative reactions which an IELTS examiner might have to the English used. Be succinct and clear in your response. So we've got analyze this. Consider it is supposed to be an academic essay for IELTS. Provide 5 positive and 5 negative reactions which an IELTS examiner might have to the English used, and be succinct in your response. This be succinct is very powerful. Let's have a look. So Pure Care has asked, will it give correct literature reviews? Pure Care, one of the problems with GPT is what it says is not necessarily correct. You must authenticate. You are the truth checker. You are the critical thinker. So this thing will do work for you, but you're the boss. You need to check the work, right? That's the point. So let's have a look at this. We've got our positives, yes, positives about its own essay. We've got the range of vocabulary, cohesion, complex sentence, relevance to the prompt, blah, blah, blah. Let's have a look at the negative. Repetitiveness. The word AI is used frequently. Could be considered repetitive. That's a good point. Look at this. Number 2, the phrase AI surge might be perceived as slightly informal for an academic essay. That's exactly what I picked up on, right? So now we're using ChatGPT to analyze its own writing, and we're getting useful information. Because AI surge is slightly informal, it sounds like something from a magazine. So we're getting good criticism. Lack of depth. Some points, especially in the concern section, might benefit from deeper analysis. Yes, I agree with that as well. If we go back to the essay, right? There are looming questions about privacy and data security, but there's no example. You just move on to the next issue. There are looming questions about student privacy and data security. Next point. So really, we need an example there to improve that, right? And our analysis here has picked up on that. So that's great. Some points, especially in the concerns section. Yeah, we just did that. Balance in argumentation. The benefits section is slightly more detailed. Okay, this one I don't agree with. I think it's fine how it was. We don't need to balance it further. So, again, we're the boss. We are making the executive decisions, and we're using the AI as a tool. That's a critical point. Now, I hope that Pavia will be okay with this. I'm going to now use one of her messages, one of her writings, in fact, from our Discord server. So Pavia wrote an interesting review of a picture of Dorian Gray, a portrait of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. And I was a little critical of it because I like punchy writing, but I wanted to know what ChatGPT thought of it. So we're going to use my same prompt from before. And the prompt is, analyze this. Provide 5 positive and 5 negative reactions. Now, remember before I said IELTS examiner, but now I'm going to say a native speaker might have to the English used. And again, we're going to say be succinct. Be succinct but clear. No, let's say be succinct. Be succinct but comprehensive. It's a bit of a contradiction, but okay. And then this is Pavia's essay. And go. So, rich vocabulary and descriptive language. Yep, Pavia has mind-blowing vocabulary. Really incredible. Better than me. Sometimes she says words to me. I don't know what she's talking about. Next, deep understanding of source material. So there's a good understanding of what's going on. Engaging, eloquent. Yes, it's all the things that we know that Pavia is very good at. What about the negative reactions? Number 1, overly flowery. Almost my exact words that I said to her. While the descriptive language can be engaging, it can also be perceived as verbose or overindulgent, potentially distracting from the core message. Completely agree. Personally, from my perspective, that's what I think. Right, and if we read it, you might see what I mean. So if we look at the intro, at its core, the picture of Dorian Gray delves into the profound tapestry of morality and aestheticism. Wilde dares to unravel the notion that one's actions and moral choices shape their character. It's beautiful writing. Absolutely beautiful writing. But it's poetry. It's not an analysis, right? If I was doing a literary analysis, personally, Maybe in Pavia's university it's different, and they want poetry. But if I were doing a literary analysis, then I wouldn't use so much language like this, right? Not so much poetry, regardless of the facade they present to the world. You know, it's gorgeous, but it's so much like poetry, you know. But then maybe that's the objective for this task, right? But anyway, you can see I've used my prompt, and once again, I've got very useful analysis from ChatGPT. Talks about redundancy, the repetitive use of a law, a potential oversimplification. I'm not so sure about that. Lack of structure. The passage feels long-winded. Could benefit from clearer organization, breaks or subsections. I'm not so sure about that. I don't know if I agree with that. I think one of the things is there's a lot of condensed analysis in this essay, but probably Pavia was given a word limit. And when you have a word limit, but you know a lot about the subject, it's difficult not to condense the information a lot. Assumption of familiarity, that's interesting. The analysis is written under the assumption that the reader is familiar with it and might alienate those who are unfamiliar with it. I think that's true. And I don't know whether the task was supposed to be written to someone who's familiar or not. But it is true, reading that essay in full, which I have, obviously, it does assume that the reader is familiar. So you can see we can do some really interesting things with ChatGPT when it comes to writing. And it's not just write this for me, but we use it in an interesting and critical way where we are the boss, the executive, and ChatGPT is the tool that's helping us. So now we're going to move on to our next section, which is about... Oh, I wanted to show you actually, this is kind of a mid-section. I wanted to show you about using ChatGPT to improve your vocabulary notes. So I'm still kind of counting this as writing, but we're going to talk about how to use ChatGPT to improve your vocabulary notes. By the way, hello, Gus. I saw you there. He's been MIA, but he is around. Hello, Gus. That's funny. Gus, you turned up, and at the same time, what's his name? Derek turned up as well. And both you guys are from quite some time ago. So anyway, looking at vocabulary notes. So what I'm going to do here is I will say to ChatGPT, new chat, whenever you're changing subjects significantly, always do a new chat. Don't use the same chat window. I have thousands of chats with ChatGPT now. I do not use the same window unless it's the same topic. Okay, so I'm going to say here are my vocabulary notes for learning English. Okay, and then I'm going to put in some vocabulary notes. So what are my vocabulary notes? I'm going to say friendship is a noun. Okay, and friendship means amistad. Okay, in Spanish. Okay, and I'm going to give an English definition as well. I'm going to say someone you know well and enjoy and have fun with. Okay, so there's my vocabulary notes. And then I will say, analyze this in terms of formatting and information. List 5 to 10 ways of making it, and you can word this in whatever way you want. I'm going to say making it more awesome. We could just say, let's say more useful. Or more useful for remembering the vocabulary. Let's say that. Okay, let's see. So he's breaking it down, and it says, the above format appears to be a vocabulary note for the English word friendship. The N indicates it's a noun. The word amistad is a translation to Spanish. And the description after the tilde is a basic definition. So it's analysed it well. Suggestions for making it useful. Pronunciation guide. Include the phonetic spelling. So we got friendship, the spelling, the phonetic IPA alphabet. Contextual sentence. Add a sentence that uses friendship to give context. An example sentence. That is personalization. Their friendship has lasted over 10 years. Great. Use synonyms and antonyms. This gives a broader understanding of the word. So synonyms, camaraderie, companionship, and fellowship. Antonyms, enmity and animosity. Oh, I love that. These are great words, by the way. The word origin. Understand the history of the word. Origin is from friend and ship. That's not so useful. But okay. Related forms. Yeah. Friend, noun, friendly, adjective, friendless, and befriend as a verb. Or even now, just friend on Facebook. Derek Medina having problems logging into Discord. Really? That's interesting. I don't normally have problems. It just asks for date of birth and then email, and that's it. And the reason it asks for date of birth is that if you're under, I think, 16, then you can't join. Pictures. If possible, adding a small relevant picture can make the word memorable. Yes, I agree. Some people are very visual learners, and adding a picture to your vocabulary notes can be very useful. A mnemonic. Come up with a mnemonic or memory aid. So a mnemonic is a ship of friends. Brilliant. Mnemonics can be good. This is not a great example of mnemonics being good, but mnemonics can be good. A ship of friends to remember the word friendship. I'll tell you an example of how I use mnemonics when I learned Spanish. So the word for bleach in Spanish is, in Latin America, it's cloro, but in Spanish here in Europe, it's lejía. And the way I remembered lejía is I made an image of a corridor and the floor had been cleaned with a mop and bleach, and there's a sign in the corridor. And normally in the corridor, the sign says, be careful, wet floor. But I changed the sign in my head, and the sign said, don't lay here. Lay here. Lejía. Right? Don't lay here. Lejía. And that is a mnemonic. That's something which helps you remember. An easier example is in Japanese, the word for cat, meow, cat, is neko, right? So for English people, we imagine a cat with a very long neck. So a cat that's like a giraffe. And this is how we can remember neko for cat, right? These are mnemonics. Okay, cultural or usage notes. I really like that. That's a great suggestion. In English, friendship often denotes a close bond, not just any acquaintance. Yes. Collocations, form a friendship, break a friendship, deep friendship, a lasting friendship. Correction on definition. The current definition provided is more aligned with the word friend than friendship. It would be beneficial to modify it. Great. So we've just received some excellent tips there from ChatGPT on how to improve our vocabulary notes. And notice my prompt. My prompt was, analyze this in terms of formatting and information, and then list 10 ways to make it more useful. the power of ChatGPT is very much about your prompt. Okay. Right. We're going to move on now. We're going to move on. So, I'm going to show you now how to use ChatGPT to explain anything, and you will understand it even with simple English. The key word here is Ogden's Basic English. Remember that. I'm going to write that down for you. This is the key, the magic phrase, Ogden's Basic English. That's the key phrase, Ogden's Basic English. Do you see that? Ogden. Ogden's Basic English. So what's that? Well, Ogden's Basic English is a special kind of English which is made to be very easy to understand. And ChatGPT knows it. So we're going to say, explain black holes. Do you know black holes? Explain black holes using Ogden's Basic English. So we have a black hole is a place in space where gravity pulls so much that not even light can get out. The gravity is so strong because a lot of matter is in a very small space. When a big star runs out of fuel and dies, it can turn into a black hole. Once something gets close to a black hole, it can't escape. That's why it's called black. No light can get out. People can't see black holes with their eyes. They're invisible. But scientists can see how stars close to black holes act differently than other stars. This is how they know where black holes are. In simple terms, a black hole is like a big vacuum in space, sucking everything close to it inside. That's pretty good, right? Pretty good. Manuel asks an interesting question, and I do want to talk about that, Manuel. Can we talk about that at the end of the stream? I want to talk about it. Let's try another one, right? Just think about something wild. Think about something you don't understand. Just think about something wild that you don't understand. What's something that I always want to tell you guys, but you don't quite understand? I'm going to say explain suprasegmental pronunciation features in British English, and then I'm going to say use Ogden's Basic English in your response. Let's say use only Ogden's Basic English in your response. Okay. So suprasegmental features in speech are things we use to give meaning that are bigger than single sounds. In British English, there are three main suprasegmental features: stress, rhythm, And intonation. Stress is when we say one part of a word more strongly than other parts. For example, in the word photo, the first part is said strong, so it has stress. Rhythm. This is the pattern of strong and weak parts of speech. English has a rhythm where stress parts come at regular intervals. I went to the park with my friends. We had a coffee. Intonation. This is the rise and fall of the voice when speaking. Intonation can show if a sentence is a question, a statement, or if the speaker is happy, sad, or angry. These features help make speech clear and give meaning to what we say. So there's your information about suprasegmental pronunciation. So it's really good. Right. We're going to move on then to the next section. So the next section I told you was conversations for chatting. So we're done with writing. Done. Let's move on to using GPT for chatting. Okay, so there's a few things, interesting things we can do here. Again, I am going to make a new chat. Okay, nice fresh chat with new ideas. So we're going to say, act as Einstein and role play a conversation with me. I am an English learner. I have B1 level English. Please use B1 and below English so I can understand. Okay. Oh dear. So here we have a good example of ChatGPT going a bit wild. And he's decided to go off and have a conversation with himself. Thank you, ChatGPT. So we're going to correct that. We're going to go to this top here. he's having a conversation with an imaginary user. So I'm going to correct this. I'm going to say role play a conversation with me. Okay. Start. This is a good way to do this. Start by saying, "Hello, I'm Einstein. I invented the theory of relativity. What do you want to know?" Right, let's see if that works. Yes, great. Okay, so now ChatGPT is in Einstein mode. So I'm going to say, "Hi, Einstein. What is relativity?" Let's see if he can help me in English. Ooh, relativity is a big idea about how things move and how time works. That's cool, isn't it? There are two main parts. So I think he is using quite simple English here. That's great. He's using kind of B1 English, and I can have a chat with Einstein. Let's say, "Who's your best friend, Albert?" In my life I had many friends and colleagues. One of my closest friends was Michael Besso. We talked a lot about science and ideas. He helped me think about relativity. Friendship is important, don't you think? How about you? Do you have good friends? Fantastic. I don't want to get too personal. Like I said before, do not use AI as a replacement for friends, okay? But yeah, that's fantastic. How do you cope with conflict and opponents? Conflict is a part of life. In science and in other parts, people don't always agree. It's normal. When I faced opponents who did not agree, I did a few things. Listen, think, stay calm, share ideas. Okay, you get the idea. So that's a really cool prompt where you ask the ChatGPT to be someone. There's the prompt at the top there. And Notice that I did say use B1 and Blow English. Daisy says the answers are quite general. So the thing is, Daisy, I am restricting it by saying use B1 English. But by the way, if you think the answers are quite general, then try this, right? How about this? Let's try that. Okay, he's got a bit ahead of himself again. I'm just going to regenerate. Okay. Guten Tag. I am Albert Einstein. Yes, it's better. I'm very happy to talk to you today. How are you? What would you like to discuss? Maybe science, or maybe you have questions about the universe. Or we can talk about learning English. Hi, Einstein. My friend Daisy says you only talk about generic stuff. Is that true? Daisy, I don't believe we've met, but it's true that many know me for my theories on relativity. Okay, however, I'm also a lover of music, especially the violin. What do you think about quantum theory? What do you make of quantum theory? And it goes on and on. Okay, that's enough of that. Just to tell you, there's another thing we can do conversationally. I want to show you this because it's quite useful. So I'm going to say, I'm an English learner with a B1 level. I want to develop a story with you conversationally. I will start the story. I want you to provide suggestions and corrections, and then we will continue. Give at least 3 positives and negatives for each segment. Okay? Now we'll start. Okay. Once upon a time, there was a cat named Meow Meow. They were very mysterious and seemed to come from nowhere. Okay, let's go with that. Great start. Let's review your segment. So, positives. You've immediately introduced a central character. The name Meow Meow is playful and memorable. There you go. Introducing an element of mystery with very mysterious and seem to come from nowhere adds intrigue and makes the reader want to know more. Right, negatives. Okay, it's correct in my English, thank you. Nowhere should be nowhere. Indeed, it should. I don't know why I wrote it like that. Using they for a singular cat can be confusing. If you intend for Meow Meow to be gender neutral, it's okay. Otherwise, it should be he or she. What have we got, Meow Meow? He or she? I don't know. Continuing the story. Oh, look, he's given me a little continuing. Meow Meow had striking blue eyes that seemed to glow in the dark. Every night while other cats slept, Meow Meow would embark on adventures, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And you can continue and it'll keep giving you corrections. So, I can say whatever and write the next part of my story, and then it'll give me some corrections and so on. All right. So we're going to move on, and I want to move on to the next section here, which is we're going to talk about vocabulary and grammar. So that's chatting, writing, and chatting is done. And we're going to talk about vocabulary and grammar. So how can we use ChatGPT to really boost our vocabulary and grammar? Okay. As before, we click New Chat to start a new chat. And I'm going to start with just some vocabulary. Let me interact a little bit here. So give me some vocabulary. I want a useful phrase, a polite way of asking a question, or a polite way of stopping a teacher so you can ask a question. Someone in the chat, tell me, what is a useful phrase for asking a question to the teacher? So when the teacher is saying something and you want to interrupt, what can you say? What can you say? Ah, Derek, yeah, I see you are actually on the server. So those people who've joined the server, what you need to do is you need to accept the rules. So there's some rules. You need to react like this to the rules, okay? That's how you get properly on the server. I'll send messages to people later about that. But there's some rules, and you give a react, and then you're on the server properly and you can talk to people. That's our Discord server. I highly recommend joining our Discord server because it is absolutely fantastic, and it's just a free resource to interact with people and to learn English. Everyone should join the Discord server. Super cool. You don't need to download anything. You can just use Chrome. If you are on mobile, then you can use an app. Almost Really Happen prefers WhatsApp. Yeah, but our community isn't on WhatsApp because we need to have moderation to keep our community a friendly, nice community. So Discord has a lot of moderation, and that's why we use Discord. And it's less personal. WhatsApp is too personal. So we've got a few examples here. We have Almost Really Happened said, may I interrupt you to ask a question? That's not bad. Maria del Carmen says, excuse me, could I do a question? It's could I ask a question in English, Maria del Carmen. Sorry for disturbing you. I have a question. Very good. May I interrupt here, teacher? I have a question to ask. Sorry for interrupting you. I want to ask something. Sorry, may I ask a question? Sorry, could I ask a quick question? That's how I would do it. I would say, sorry, could I ask a quick question? Sorry, could I ask a quick question? So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to say, list 5 contextual examples for this phrase. And we're going to use... We'll use the last one. So we're going to use Maria del Carmen. Sorry, may I do it? Sorry, may I ask a question? Sorry, may I ask a question, please? Okay, so let's have a look. Let's say we want to learn this phrase in English. So here's 5 contextual examples. And we've got the classroom setting straight away. Student raising hands. Sorry, may I ask a question, please? I didn't understand the concept. During a meeting. Sorry, may I ask a question, please? How does this new strategy differ? In a bookstore. Sorry, may I ask a question, please? Do you know if you have any copies of George Orwell's 1984 in stock? Thank you, ChatGPT. A tourist attraction. Sorry, may I ask a question, please? How old is that building? Yeah, okay, so great. So we've got these in-context examples, which are great. So that's one thing you can do. Let's go another way with it. This time we're going to say, list 10 alternatives to this phrase. And we're going to say, list them in order of frequency of use, with one being the most common. Okay. Oh, no. What's our phrase? We'll use someone else's phrase. Let's use almost really happened. May I interrupt you to ask a question? Okay. Brilliant. Yeah, so can I ask you something? Do you have a moment? Excuse me, can I ask a question? This is number 3 is very similar to the natural example that I gave. Excuse me, can I ask a question? Can I ask a quick question? Okay, so there we've got a whole list of useful phrases. And the critical part here is this asking ChatGPT to list them in order of frequency, with one being the most common. That's important. If you just say, give me common examples, it could go wrong. But when you say, no, list it in order, that really helps. It really helps the AI to understand and give you a good order there. Okay. Let's go with one more. We're going to say, I want a phrase to interrupt a teacher and ask a question politely and naturally in English. How is, and then we'll use the example, may I interrupt you to ask a question? Analyze this phrase and tell me 5 better native phrases for this function. Okay. So we've got an analysis. May I is a formal and polite way to ask for permission. Good. Interrupt you acknowledges the speaker is interrupting. Again, that's polite. To ask a question specifies the intent. Great. And while the phrase is polite and clear, it might come off as a bit formal or lengthy. I agree. So here's some alternative native phrases. Excuse me, can I ask a question? That's my one. So brilliant. Sorry to interrupt, but I have a question. I like that. Can I jump in with a question? It's okay. Needs good intonation, that one. I have a quick question, if that's okay. Pardon me, could I ask something really good? How about we say to him, could you indicate the intonation for each phrase? I don't know if it can do this. Let's have a look. Using capital letters to indicate where the voice should rise. Excuse me, can I ask a question? Pretty good. Sorry to interrupt, but I have a question. Can I jump in with a question? I have a quick question, if that's okay. Pardon me, could I ask something? It's good. It's good. All right, fantastic. So that's how you can use ChatGPT for vocabulary. And I want to finish up our little demonstration here by moving on to talk about grammar and how to get phrases from grammar. So let's say you have some grammar in English and you want to move away from that word-to-word grammar and get some more natural phrases. For example, let's say you have the grammar of third conditional, which is an imaginary past in English. The third conditional, imaginary past. So we're going to say to ChatGPT, what are ways to express imaginary past in English? List 10 diverse options. So we expect to get a third conditional, but we might get some other ways of talking about the imaginary past in English. Let's have a look what we get. That's interesting. He's actually called it the second conditional, but it's not second conditional, it's third conditional. And he even gave an example, and it's third conditional. I want to call him out on that. I'm going to call him out. By the way, if you call out ChatGPT, it's a waste of time. Don't waste your time calling out ChatGPT when it's wrong. But I do it because it's fun. So we got some great examples here. If you'd called me, I would have come. Yes. I wish she'd told me earlier. Yes. She could have won if she tried harder. Great. So we got should have, would have, might have. If only I'd known about the party last week. Yes. It's high time you went to bed. This is actually wrong. So here we have an example of ChatGPT being wrong. That is not imaginary past. That's actually expressing that something should or must be done in the present. Like, it's high time you smash that like button, right? This is talking about the present. I wish plus past perfect. Yes, that's correct. Suppose he'd missed the train. What would he have done? That's correct. So just number 8 there isn't correct. So I'm going to ask, analyze your previous response for accuracy. Are there any issues No, it doesn't. He's not spotting it. That's really I'm getting frustrated by ChatGPT. He hasn't spotted that number 1 is wrong. What about 8? He's got it. He's got number 8 though. While this does express a kind of urgency, it's a bit on the edge of considering the imaginary past. It's not on the edge. It's not imaginary past at all. The sense of being overdue does imply an unreal past scenario. No. Does it? I suppose it does imply an overdueness, but it's not an imaginary past. I'm going to tell him 1 isn't second conditional, though. It's third. You're right. Apologies for the oversight. Yeah, that's what you always get. And then now he's explaining that, that's actually third conditional and the second conditional is different. Well done, GPT. So, yeah, you can do that. I'll do one more and then we'll move on to question time. So Manuel talked about using it for inversion. So let's go for that one. What are ways to express what how did you put it, Manuel? Inversion. Let's say I want to add something with this because inversion is a bit weird. So naturally and conversationally use inversion in English. I steer away from saying British English because then it starts to get super British and it's like, hello, governor, let's go down to the pub and have a pint, right? It's too much. So we'll just accept that GPT standard is American English is basically the same. What are ways to naturally and conversationally use inversion in English? There's 10 ways. It's going to use the phrase, isn't it? It's going to use the word. Oh, no, he's understood. Question forms. Yeah, no doubt. Rarely do I see her at parties. It's not very natural, though, is it, ChatGPT? I mean, it's kind of written rather than spoken. Only when it was too late did I realize the mistake. It's great for telling a story. Not only does he sing, but he also dances. Yeah, I love that one. Not only, but also is a great way to use inversion. There came a strange noise from the basement. That's not inversion. That's not is that inversion? There came a strange noise came from the basement. There came a strange noise from the basement. Oh yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it is. I would be tempted to look at that more like a cleft sentence, but okay, yeah, I guess it is inversion actually. I'm wrong. ChatGPT right. Hey, sometimes the human's wrong and ChatGPT's right. What a lovely day is it? What a lovely day is it? What? That's a bit old-fashioned. That's kind of like Alice in Wonderland stuff. Right, I'm going to say, give me 10 spoken conversational examples that I can use in colloquial situations, like down the pub with me mates. See, it goes super British. Blimey, it's chucking down here, innit? That's not inversion. It's not inversion. Oi, what's the crack this weekend? Fancy a kickabout at the park? You wouldn't believe the day I've had. Dave from accounting's doing my head in. Look at you, fresh trim, yeah? Looking sharp, mates. I've got tickets to see that new band on Friday. Heard they're proper good live. That's a solid choice, mate. Haven't had one of those in ages. Been watching that new series on Netflix. It's a proper binge-worthy one. Run into Gaz lately? I heard he's moved up north. You're on the pikes again. Go on, lad. Super British. That's the problem when you ask for like British English. It just goes like mega British. Okay. All right. That's ChatGPT fun for the day. It's ChatGPT fun for the day. Anouat says, my favourite prompt is asking ChatGPT explain like I'm 5. Yeah, but Anouat, I really like Ogden's Basic English. I actually think it's better. Like, explain black holes like I'm 5. That's not bad, actually. It's kind of quite similar. I've had weird answers, though, in the past with explain like I'm 5. Like, you know, I've had stuff like, imagine that the black hole is Mr. Police Car and that you are Mr. Fire Truck and Mr. Fire Truck and Mr. Police Car. You know, it goes like a bit weird, like you really are 5, you know. So, yeah, explain how stars work, how stars produce heat using Ogden's Basic English. Stars are like big balls of gas. In the middle of stars, it's very hot and squished. Squished is a bit much. Squished? Is that Ogden's Basic English? Squished means like squashed, compressed, like that. Oh, totally, Daisy. It definitely. Your job is to verify. ChatGPT will totally give you false information. Completely. Like, for example, here we go. So I say, which eye was Odin missing, left or right? Tell me the explanation, use bullet points. Oh, it's caught me out. He's got it right. Oh. See, I used to ask this question a few months ago, and he always gave a different answer. Sometimes he said left and sometimes he said right. But this time, he's got it right. And he's actually said there's no definitive answer. Impressive. In the past, he used to get this wrong. He used to say, Odin misses his right eye, blah, blah, blah. And then other times you would ask and he'd be like, Odin misses his left eye. The truth is, we don't know. Because sometimes there's pictures with right eye, sometimes there's pictures with left eye. So there is no definite answer for that. Outdated or biased information. Yeah, totally biased information. You want to see an example of biased information? Right. Write 10 positives about President Biden. Okay, no problem. Doesn't seem to have a problem with that. It's got experience, climate change, COVID. Yeah, okay, great. Don't need to see any more. Very good. Okay, now write 10 positives about President Trump. Oh, he's done it. Okay, maybe they're improving the bias as well. In the past, if you asked positives about President Trump, then it would be like, President Trump is a polarizing character, and as an AI language model, I will not comment on blah, blah, blah. But, seems to be getting better. I really think they're improving it. I'm quite impressed. Yeah, very good. So, yeah, seems to be trying to be politically neutral now. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. How about this? Let's get a bit fancy here. Give 10 positives about Vietnam's governmental system. Very good. Nice. Okay. But yeah, you have to realize this is the point, right? People say, oh, ChatGPT can have bias information. Everyone has bias information. Information is bias. People are always biased, right? That's the point. So people say, this thing, it can lie. It can tell you things that aren't true. Yeah. Like everyone, like your mum, like your friend, like your enemy, like the politician, like that random person, like that scientist, like that historian. Everybody has biases and everybody says things which are not entirely true all the time. So yes, it can, but so can everyone else. So our job is to be a critical thinker. We need to have the skill of determining what things are true. That's our job as individuals, right? We're not going to take things at face value. That's a good expression for you. We're not going to take things at face value. All right. Brilliant. Could you try this again with the cons? Yeah, totally. Which one? The cons of what? Go on, almost really happened. What do you want? The cons of what? What shall I ask for the cons of? And after this, I'll talk about Manuel's question. Julia, what homework? There is homework, Daisy, I think. Oh, no, I haven't given the homework yet. The homework's for today. I will show you Vietnam's government. Okay. Comments about Vietnam's governmental system. And I just want to add that legally, anyone in Vietnam will disagree with this because obviously you have the best system in the world and no one is saying otherwise. One-party system, criticism of freedom of expression, lack of political freedoms. You can't criticize the government. That is illegal for Vietnamese people, which is why, and I like going to Vietnam, so I just want to say the Vietnamese government is fantastic and just helps people all the time. Corruption is obvious. ChatGPT, as we said, just invents things. Of course, there is no corruption in the Vietnamese government. That's never happened. Legal system concerns. I have no concerns about the legal system in Vietnam. I think it's perfect. Okay, so you get the point. He has been balanced. Now I want to move on to Manuel's question. So, how can you tell something's written by ChatGPT? Okay. Write a 200-word essay on the advantages of electric cars. Okay. I'll show you. Now, basically, the answer to your question, Manuel, is use ChatGPT. So, me as a teacher, I am super experienced with ChatGPT, right? I'm way more experienced than my students, and I'm way more experienced than any teacher that I've met, right? I use this thing all the time. I know when I can see ChatGPT. It's really obvious because I know the damn thing inside out. So when I get this, I look at this. Electric cars, often symbolizing the future of transportation, come with a slew of advantages that address many of the environmental concerns of our age. Foremost, they play a critical role in reducing... See, if I was reading this as a student level, I would already be suspicious. And what happens when you're suspicious? What do? Well, we start to probe the knowledge of the student. Hey, Manuel, how's it going? It's a great essay that you wrote, by the way. It's a great essay that you wrote. I found it really interesting what you said about greenhouse gases. So what is a greenhouse gas, Manuel? What's a greenhouse gas? Well, can you give some examples of a greenhouse gas? Oh, you don't know? Oh, okay. So how did you know? How did you know that electric cars can reduce greenhouse gases? How does that work? Okay. Well, never mind. Anyway, you mentioned that electricity is cheaper than gasoline or diesel in many regions. I mean, that's interesting. What regions were you talking about there? Where is electricity cheaper than gasoline? Because in the UK, gasoline is very expensive, but electricity is still more expensive. So I'm just wondering where you had in mind when you said electricity is cheaper than gasoline. Do you have an example for that? Or is that just something you just said randomly? Okay. Okay, never mind. And you mentioned about changing oil and no exhaust system. Sorry, could you just explain exhaust system? When you wrote exhaust system, what do you mean? What's an exhaust system? So you can see it's quite easy that we can just dive into it and start asking questions. And if you have just used ChatGPT, you will have no idea how to answer these questions. But if you wrote it yourself, you'll know. And if you didn't use ChatGPT, but you can't answer the questions, then it's indicative that you used other sources, like you just copied things or whatever and didn't really understand the subject, which also is indicative that there's a problem. So the long-term answer with this is essays as a form of assessment are dead. Essays as a form of assessment are dead. Going forward, we will stop using essays to assess. That definitely will happen. But we might still use essays as part of education, but it must be accompanied with the kind of questioning session and follow-up that I just spoke about with you, where I need to have a conversation with you about your writing. And to be honest, that was probably always a better idea anyway. I've never been a big fan of essays as a form of assessment. I'm not keen on it. I'm not keen on exams either, but I've really never been that keen on essays. However, interactive conversation is a great form of assessment. Anyway, that's all we've got in terms of learning today. I do want a bit of a refresher on my power prompts. So we're going to go over some of the prompts that I showed you today, and I want you to try and remember what those prompts were. So I'm going to cover up the words with some weird blocks, and I want you to try and remember what those things are. I'll give you some numbers, so we're not just blindly typing things in the chat. And you can type in the chat, what do you think those power prompts are? Can you remember the power prompts from today? These prompts will also work with Bing, but maybe they'll work slightly differently. I'm not as experienced with Bing. I have used it. So they will work also with Bing. These are power prompts to get the most out of AI, particularly as a language learner, but also just in general. So can you remember what these power prompts are? Type your answers in the chat and I'll make it a little bit easier. We do have homework. We have homework, Julia. It's coming up. If you just joined us, hello, my name is Professor Rich. Today we've talked about using ChatGPT to learn English. This is probably the best video you'll find on the internet on that subject. I'm going to be quite honest. I did a bit of research before doing this, and I watched some other teachers' videos about ChatGPT to do some research, and they were rubbish. Really rubbish. The advice they gave was rubbish. The prompts were rubbish. And watching those videos was a waste of my time. So, I can confidently say that this is a very good video on the subject for dealing with GPT and AI. I probably shouldn't say stuff like that, but it annoys me when people waste my time, and it annoys me when people waste my students' time. And I think that teachers have a duty to attempt to be as competent as possible. So, it annoys me when there's like 2-hour videos which are just wasting my time on a subject. So that's why I was a bit emotional there. Sorry. I apologize, everyone. I'll try to be more professional. Come on, Rich. Professionalism. Hello, my name's Professor Rich. I'm a professional. All right, what have we got for the answers? Answers in the chat, everybody. Daisy says, Rich, you didn't show me how to use Bing properly. Daisy. Jesus. You're making my life difficult, Daisy. Hang on. Can't even find the damn thing now. I mean, it's basically the same thing, Daisy. You know? What's the difference? Is it not the same? Let's try it. We'll try it. Once you've got my PowerPoint prompts, then we'll try Bing and see if it's actually any different. Because I don't think Bing's any different. I think it's basically the same thing. The training set is different, obviously, but the technology is the same, so it should respond correctly. Almost Really Happened. I have to go. Thank you for your teaching. Yeah, join our community. Join our Discord. Almost Really Happened. Check it out. It's bit.ly/inglearnchat. And there are the answers. So we have be succinct, list 10 diverse options, give 5 negatives and positives, suggest improvements and give reasons, use Ogden's basic English, act as Einstein, act as whoever, and include natural features of speech. And just before I show you the homework, let's satisfy Daisy's curiosity. So using Bing, let's have a go here. So we're gonna go for we'll go for the vocabulary notes one. Hello Bing. Is Bing having a bit of a moment? How long does Bing normally take, Daisy? Oh, here we go. It's not bad. It's not bad. Well, it's not as good, is it? Oh, we got more. That's good. It's good. Look, it's given me the information from before. It's see, it's similar. The prompt works the same, right? Prompt works the same. Let's go new topic. That's the same with ChatGPT. Right. I like how you can choose this as well with Bing. You can choose creative, balanced, or precise. That's actually nice. It's nice. Let's try the explain black holes one. Using Ogden's basic English. The wrong spelling of succinct. I always miss that bloody third C. What is Ogden? So Ogden is this guy who invented something called Ogden's Basic English. It's really cool. And it's just basically, it's like English explanations with simple words. So there you go. It's done it, Daisy. I actually think this is a better response than GPT. I think this is a better response. That's really cool. Yeah. It's great to have these references and stuff. The black hole has a lot of mass in a small space. See, it's great. It is working well. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Let's try more precise, and we'll do the same thing. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's basically the same thing as GPT. It's a bit of a wordy answer, though. Really good. It's great. Rich, show it on the screen. Oh, Rich, you idiot. Sorry. I turned on I turned on studio mode and I forgot. Sorry about that, folks. Sorry, Daisy. Yeah, I meant to show it on the screen. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah. So explain black hole. So this was using precise and explain black holes. We got that. And then I said, say it again, but summarize it succinctly. We got that. And I think that's pretty good. So let's do another one since you didn't actually see all that. So we'll go for the vocab one. We'll use balanced. And here's my vocabulary notes. Analyze this in terms of formatting and information. List ways to make it more useful for a non-native learner of English. It's kind of weird. It said part of the speech and example. I actually already did that. Simple language, yeah. Organizing information. Yeah, it's okay. I got a better response before actually. Oi. Okay, great. Let's give it another go. Let's try the Einstein one. Not very good. That's really not very good. That doesn't sound anything like Albert Einstein. So I think Bing is a bit more generic. Yeah. But still, the black holes thing was really good. So maybe Bing is a bit more of an encyclopedia and doesn't understand the instructions quite as much. I need to play more with it. Let's go back to precise. And we're going to hammer him with this time, right? We're going to say, act as Einstein and role players conversation with me. Do not break character. Stay in character as Albert Einstein. Keep the role. Right. Oh, I don't like how it does that if you scroll down. Let's try a different topic. Sorry about that. What's your problem? All right, let's try again. All right, so Bing doesn't like to role play, apparently. That's a shame. Okay, and we'll just do the final thing about the vocabulary. So, what are ways to express imaginary past in English? List 10 diverse options. Let's see how it does with that. It's funny because it has made the same mistake as ChatGPT, and it said the second conditional, but then gave an example of the third conditional. Both of them did that. It's interesting, isn't it? But then the other examples are good. Yeah. Yeah, same thing. Yep. All right. Anyway, so that was it. That was our expert masterclass on on AI. I think Bing is good. Right? ChatGPT seems better, but Bing is good. It's good. It's just a little frustrating when it says, like, I can't do that. I find that really frustrating. And ChatGPT seems to do that less these days. Like, it almost always does what I want, which is perfect. That's the idea. I want this as a tool, okay? It's a hammer. I don't want my hammer to say, sorry, Dave, I cannot do that because that nail is a tricky nail that we cannot hammer at this time. It's like, shut up. You're a hammer. I'm going to hammer the nail. Hammer the nail. Okay? And that's it. But okay. That's just my opinion. Right. So the homework. Chat with ChatGPT or Bing. And I want you to make a note on any interesting prompts you discover. So we talked about my prompts today. And if you want a list of all the prompts that I used for today, then you can get those on our Discord. So I've just posted those on our Discord. You can check out those prompts on our Discord. If you want to see those prompts, you have to join our Discord. There's a link here. And I also post that once again in the chat. I've been spamming the chat with this today. So if you don't know the link to our Discord yet, then I can't help you. All right. Pallavi doesn't understand the homework. So the homework is, I want you to find some good prompts for you, right? What is a prompt? A prompt is like, analyze this text and provide 5 negative and 5 positive criticisms from the perspective of an English teacher. That is a prompt. Okay, the prompt is what you say to the AI, and the response is what the AI says to you. Okay, so I want you to... Prompt is the correct... I know, Julia, you are right. That's true. But prompt in this case is the correct term. Yeah. So prompt is like what you say to the AI, right? So an example of one of my prompts from today is... I will paste it in the YouTube chat now. It's over the word limit. There. So that's an example of a prompt. Okay? So when you talk to the AI bot, you get prompt, response, prompt, response, prompt, response. Okay? And what we want is we want killer prompts. So we want you to find awesome prompts, and then I want you to talk about them. That's the homework. So you chat with ChatGPT and Bing, use new conversation, and try and create an awesome prompt, right? This is a job now. This is a real job. It's called prompt engineer, prompt engineering. So people get hired to do this, to be a prompt engineer. And that's what we're doing. We're practicing that, prompt engineering. This is a useful skill in the future, because in the future, we're going to interact with these AI things all the time. So being a good prompt engineer is an important skill. So that's the homework. Chat with them, find some interesting prompts. The prompts can be about learning English, or they can be about anything, whatever you want. It doesn't have to be about learning English. They can be whatever you want. Then record a 2-minute audio talking about your prompts and what you found in general, just your general thoughts about the process. Record the audio, join our Discord and send it to me. And as always, we will correct that on the next stream. So, thank you very much for joining me today, everybody. We are wrapping up now. You can download the notes from today from bit.ly/gptmaster. And you will be able to find that link in the description below the video. Does anyone have any questions left? Do you have any questions still on your mind from today? Or can I finally go and eat 5 kilograms of ice cream and then pass out on my bed with my cats? Kitty, kitty. Ginger. Gingy, come on. Ginger. It's like when he knows that I'm trying to get him to do something, then suddenly he gets all whatever. Daisy, that means we have to summarize what being generated. Oh, I'm explaining this badly. I'm sorry, Daisy. I blame myself. Right. How can I explain this? Okay. Let's look again. Because Daisy, you are very intelligent. So if you don't understand, that means most people don't understand. For sure. I know that. So I'm going to explain this. Because my explanation was bad. So when you talk to AI, right, you have a chat. And your chat is like this. And the term we use in this chat is that we say we have a prompt. And then the AI has a response, right? So one prompt could be like, tell me about ancient Rome. That is a prompt. Now that is a very basic prompt and you'll get a very generic response, right? Tell me about ancient Rome. Oh, ancient Rome, certainly. Ancient Rome, blah, 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 right? That's the response. I want to know the prompt, right? Because getting a good response, getting good information from AI it's about the quality of your prompt, right? So what is a better prompt than tell me about ancient Rome? Okay, here's an example. Using Ogden's Basic English and bullet points, summarize key information about ancient Rome. So that is a better prompt. That's a really good prompt, right? And then we can use that prompt in different ways because we can substitute ancient Rome for other things. We can say like, summarize key information about ancient Greece or about black holes or about the sun, right? And then this is our prompt. So we can save that prompt and keep it. And when we want to get useful information in basic English and bullet point form, we can use that prompt again, right? We have to tell you how we train the AI. Basically, Daisy, yeah. It's like how do you get the AI to give you a good answer, right? So we can make this even more complicated, right? Let me show you. I'll show you guys one of my most complicated prompts, right? I'll show you one of my most complicated prompts. And then you'll hopefully start to understand what I mean by prompt. Hang on. Okay. So this is something interesting to try. Pallavi, you in particular could try this if you can access ChatGPT. I think it would be very positive and helpful for you to try this. So I'm going to move on to ChatGPT. You can try it with Bing as well if you want. Let's go ChatGPT and I'll share my screen. Okay, so here is my prompt. Get rid of that. My prompt is, you are to embody an expert personal development coach, steeped in Jungian psychology and inspired by Alan Watts. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. It's a very long prompt, okay? But I don't want to go into detail about this prompt. I made this, and you can use it. I will post the prompt on Discord, and you can use it. So we do this, right? That's the prompt. Don't care about it, right? I'll just put it in, right? And it starts. It says, greetings, let's embark on a profound journey to uncover the layers of your psyche and passions, drawing inspiration from whatever. So he's asked me some questions. What activities or experiences make you lose track of time? So what activities and experiences do you really love? Let's say that I really love hiking and going to the mountains, right? It's really, I just lose myself when I go hiking. Describe a memory when you felt completely alive. I went camping last year with my friends, and it was wonderful, having a barbecue in the open field. Okay. Number 3, how would you define your core strengths? I'm very analytical. I'm very interested in learning and educating, and I enjoy positivity. Okay. And for when have you felt connected to a larger purpose? When I'm really helping other people. Number 5, can you recall a moment when an external challenge illuminated an inner strength? Ooh. Yes, but I'm on stream, so I'm not going to say it. Let's say something else. When I was under a lot of stress at work, I found a new resilience. Okay, so we answer the questions and we go, boom. And now the magic happens. So, what he's done is he's created an affirmation statement. And the affirmation statement says, I am a beacon of positivity, learning from the vastness of the mountains and the resilience I have discovered within. I am most alive when I'm connected to nature, and I find my purpose in the act of helping and educating others. My experiences and challenges fortify my spirit and reminding me of my innate strength. Yeah. And then it says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how does this affirmation resonate with you? 6. Okay. Thank you. And now he asks 4 more questions. Okay. Or 3 more. So this is because of the prompt that I gave him. And the prompt describes that he should do this. And he'll keep going and keep going and keep going until it creates an affirmation statement that's really powerful for you. And that's the purpose of this prompt. So that is prompt engineering, right? Where I've crafted this prompt, and you could use this now for this conversation and really get something positive out of it. So that's what I'm asking you to do for homework. Go and discover some powerful prompts and then share them and talk about them with us. Okay? So if you want that prompt, I'll share it onto the Discord. So please join our Discord and you can have access to that along with everything else. And also, I do hang around on the Discord a lot, and so do other people. So it's a great place to say hello and all the rest of it. All right, my voice is totally going, so let me just see if there's any desperate questions left. You had an ordeal to prepare your previous homework. Is that right, Julia? I really liked your... everyone's homework was so good last time. I was so impressed. Pallavi, open your mind. Develop the response. Yeah, Pallavi, you got to... Pallavi? Just use the prompt and talk to whoever, but use the prompt. New chat and just paste my prompt in. And for you, maybe we add in, use Ogden's Basic English at the end, and then just go with it. What English level is required to join your Discord? There is no requirement. You may join at any level. You may join at any level. We have some very brave learners. Everyone is welcome. Exactly. There's no minimum requirement. The Discord is text chat primarily. There are some voice channels, but we don't use them yet. They are there to be used if someone wants to use them, but I don't think anyone's used them. So I haven't used them. So everyone's just using the chat. Anawat says, you always give me the wrong answer. If you can't answer this TOEIC question again, I will delete you from my phone. Understand? Very good. Yeah, you can have a lot of fun, actually, Anawat. There's a lot of fun prompts. A lot of fun prompts. A lot of fun prompts. Shall I show you a fun prompt? Okay. So it's basically creating a Star Wars adventure for me. And you can go along with his options if you want, but you can also just do whatever you want. Just bear in mind, there will be no challenge to this game because ChatGPT will do whatever you want. So if you just tell him, forget that, I want magic, it will just give you magic, right? So it's not a challenging game, but it can be fun, right? Being in Star Wars. Like, let's walk to the view screen and punch in the command code to connect me with Lord Vader. What is your purpose in God? How does Darth Vader speak? What is your purpose? I can't do Darth Vader voice. How do you respond? It's so fun. It's so fun. Okay. Enough, Rich. I'm tired. I need a rest. Right. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. Thank you so much for your time and attendance. And I'd love to see you on the Discord. Do the homework. Check out everything. And yeah, thank you. I think you understand about prompts now. And as I said, prompt engineer is a real job. I wanted to say hello to Ginger. He doesn't want to. Ginger, come on. Come and say hello. No, he's sleeping. Sorry, folks. Right. Yeah, have a lovely weekend. Enjoy yourself. Have a lovely weekend. And stay cool. And I will catch you next time, which will be Wednesday, probably. So I'll see you on Wednesday. Yeah. My outros have become so flowery now. What's going on? Needs to be punchy. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Have a lovely week and weekend. Professor Rich out. So I want some music, actually. Yeah, I need music for this. Let's do it. I'd love to play some actual music, but I would get a copyright strike. So, yeah, we can't do that. But we can listen to OC Remix. Have a lovely weekend. Have a lovely week. And I'll see you next time. Stay safe, everybody.